Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It is Foreign's the Foodie.
And we are back.
We're back.
With another episode.
We actually had started recording and
we
then
had started recorded and then it wasn't recording, and so now here we go doing take two.
Yeah.
Hey.
We're going to try and say everything we said.
We're going to try and say everything we said, but before we forget this time, because we forgot last time, we're drinking today, okay? I was responsible for bringing the drink this time round, and I got us a bit of sangria. I was going to get, they have that one, it's like in a carton, it's like a yellow with red writing, and then I saw one next to it that was a bit more expensive, and I was like,
why not splurge?
It's a little bit sparkling, which I wasn't too sure about, but I said, let's try it,
I don't know, cold red wine.
But you like it? Or you don't like it?
I don't know.
I'm not, because I wasn't gonna put it in the fridge because I was like, oh, it's sangria, it's red wine, it shouldn't be chilled. Exactly. It's nice. I think I'd have preferred it if it wasn't sparkling. I
actually like it.
Do you?
It gives it some...
But you are like a prosecco babe, so
yeah, it gives it some je ne sais quoi.
It's nice. I like this.
I like it too.
I might need a top up. But it's good. It's good. We're gonna need alcohol to get through this next one.
Yeah.
This was a really sad documentary, but very necessary and very good.
Yeah, I think it was an important documentary.
It was so good.
So good. I felt all my feels.
Oh, I wept.
Literally, Kerry Washington is one of the
executive producers. She sure is.
I love everything that woman does.
She is on her P's and Q's.
She is, and she does
I rate her
everything
so much.
Well.
Yeah. Like, quality control is there.
Yeah.
I was saying to friends, like, her book that I listened to, was so good. Like, it just made me, like, I like her, and I've always liked her. I guess maybe because of, like, how much I loved Scandal and stuff. But it just made me rate her on, like, another level.
She's another person she's someone who I really rate because she, like, goes to work, comes home and
minds her business.
Like, work is work. Like, it just shows that as a celebrity, you actually can. Like, that woman doesn't go anywhere with her actual husband. She goes everywhere with her work husband, but she doesn't go anywhere with her actual husband.
Her kids, privacy.
You don't know know anything about them. You don't know, like, you don't. I just love it. I love gossiping. Like, it's always a safe space to gossip with me.
Yeah.
But I actually rate people that I don't know their shit.
Yes, as in they keep it from us.
They keep it from us. I actually respect.
I respect it because it's like, you don't want us to talk about you, but you don't put your stuff out there. Do you get what I mean? So, like, we respect it.
The only thing we do talk about is her and
Fitz.
Yeah, and she plays
the love of her life. Yeah.
And I guess that's something she feels comfortable with, which actually, following on from our conversation last week, maybe they aren't actually doing anything more than they are, because I think if she was, she'd be a lot more private about it. Yeah. But like, I really, really rate her.
It was so good.
Everything she does is amazing, and I imagine her to be Olivia.
Yeah, like, just on her P's and Q's, like, just like efficient, get shit done, like,
no nonsense.
No nonsense.
Yeah.
This documentary was just like, it, like, for the first time, not for the first time in a long time, but for the first time in a long time, like, I just felt
something.
Yeah, this documentary, like, it just made me feel like it evoked so much emotion.
Yeah, it feels more like a film to me.
Yeah.
I don't get twisted. I thoroughly enjoyed this, loved every bit of it, and I would watch it again and again. But I definitely felt like, with the documentary mindset we have from doing the pod,
as in, we could watch this in a cinema.
Yeah. I was like, no talking heads, and that doesn't mean they were missing, but obviously if I go in thinking I'm watching a documentary, then I'm thinking about it. But I loved it. I thought that it was so well done. I think it's very important. It kind of reminds me of, like, that Ava DuVernay documentary 13th about prison. It's about, like, how loads of we
black
didn't cover
men,
it, but I think
we haven't covered it. But
we talked about it. Yeah,
it's like that. It's like one of those films where you're gonna watch it multiple times. You're gonna watch it in years from now. Those girls who are in it are gonna watch it and, like, see themselves. It's so important. Like, it just made me feel so many things. And I was just like, wow, like, every man needs to watch this. Black men need to watch it twice. Everyone needs to watch it.
Politicians need to watch it.
Politicians need to watch it.
Do you know what? I think it also, something for me that it also emphasised was that, especially in America, the prison system is nothing about reform.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And maybe that's because it's privatised. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's a business.
Absolutely fuck all to do with reform.
And that's scary.
Scary, because you're punishing these people to rehabilitate them back into society, or if they've committed crimes so heinous, they don't deserve to go back into society. But for like, one thing is for sure and two things are true. It is not about reform.
And you think about these prisoners, like, these prisoners are people's relatives. Like, in the what this documentary emphasizes is that these people are someone's father. Yeah, they have children, they have daughters on the outside.
They have people that need them.
Yeah, they have people that need them, that are relying on them.
I do also think, though, it's this is really wild, but I'll get there. It's similar to when I was watching the HMP Wandsworth video, and I was thinking, we're all kikiing and laughing.
Yeah.
But imagine that guy unalived your... Why did I say this is not TikTok?
Yeah.
Imagine that guy killed your friend or your child or something. Yeah. And you're watching him
enjoy his life in prison.
It's going to kill you. Same way, I also had to pause for a second and be like, as much as I feel all my feels, some of these men... And they said that they didn't say what these men were in for because they didn't want to take away from the humanity they were trying to portray. And I get that.
Yeah.
But some of these guys on 30 plus years, they obviously
did
killed
mad things,
somebody most
but
likely.
I don't think that the documentary is about excusing what they did,
no,
or even making you feel sorry for the fact that they're in there.
But I found myself being like, oh, just free these men so they can be...
I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? And that also within itself, because either way you look at it, the idea is you're meant to leave and feel sorry for the daughters, ergo you want them to be with their fathers,
because you feel sorry for them because the father's not there.
Also, like, imagine if that guy killed someone I loved. I don't want you to be having interactions with people. I want you to be in a hole under the prison.
And the fact that you did this is why you can't see your daughter.
Yeah,
so that's one of the things. Yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
And I guess these are the conflicting feelings that you're meant to feel. You're meant to leave and think about things, and like, I get it. Yeah.
I saw it more as like a deterrent for people who are not in prison or who are in that cycle of like going back and back, in and out, exactly. But I agree, like, if someone killed my loved one and they're in there, like, no, you don't get to see your fucking daughter. Actually, no, you
I don't get to see
my exactly. But I do think that, because let's just get into it. So the documentary starts with on-screen text. Also, we didn't mention this. I think we said it the last time we tried to record. On-screen text. The use of on-screen text in this documentary is so good. Yeah. And I think what Forenz was saying about how it feels more like a movie. There's no talking head. There's no narrator. This supplements that in the best way. Like, I love the font that they used. I love the way that it's like the on-screen text is part of the scene. Yeah. It's not as if it's just a black screen, white writing. It's like it's part of it. It keeps you focused. It keeps you engaged. It explains things in the time that it needs to, provides context. Like, it's so well done.
It is.
So the on-screen text that we first see says, the Date with Dad program brings together girls and their incarcerated dads for a rare father-daughter dance to connect and bond in person. It started in Richmond, Virginia, and then expanded to DC 10 years later. And this documentary is really good in that it's a countdown to the dance. So it's like 9 weeks to the dance, 8 weeks, 7 weeks, so on. One of the first little girls that we meet, because it's about the dads who are in jail and the daughters who are not. So Aubrey, who's 5 years old. Aubrey,
can I birth her? If I had a daughter, that's how I want her to be.
Girl, Aubrey is 5 years old.
She's everything.
She is everything and more. She is so beautiful, intelligent, charismatic.
She's not just intelligent, like, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she's
intelligent.
She's emotional intelligence,
insane. At 5, 6, 7, all the years that we see her, she's talking to us about her dad and how he's 30 and he's coming home in 7 years. And she says, like, so the earth goes around the sun 1, so it's like 1, 2, 3. I was like,
yes, baby girl, you count.
Aubrey, you've redeemed that name for me. You have, like, you
redeemed
really
it from what?
Graham.
I thought you meant my Aubrey.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your cat.
He's called Aubrey too. I don't know why.
Who named him that? Was that what he was named when you got him?
Fonty. Mm-hmm. He said because he's ginger like Auburn. That was not the name I was going for.
What would you have gone for?
I would have gone for like maybe Ginger Snap, but called him Snap or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely not Aubrey, but I used to call him Drake.
There's 3 other members of your family that could have chosen the name, because those 2 are...
I would have called him. I sometimes call him Drakey.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah, I remember that.
But either way, he's autistic. He doesn't answer to anything.
Is he really?
I mean, I don't know if there's.
But cats are anti. That they don't.
No, he's not anti. He's not. He's anti, but he's not. But he's I'm 100% sure he's on the spectrum. He does not behave like a normal
cat.
He's not like he does. You're how old? You don't answer to your name. You could call him. That guy.
Maybe he doesn't like the name.
I don't know.
Maybe try calling him Ginger Snap and see if he answers.
I love him to bits, but yeah.
So Aubrey's mom is called LaShawn, and her mom explains how basically the police come to get her dad in the middle of the night, like literally like a thief in the night, while she was sleeping, and this has caused separation anxiety for Aubrey, understandably. It's hard for her to really grasp what's going on, because normally she wakes up in the morning, her dad takes her to school, blah blah blah. This one particular night, dad's gone, he doesn't take her to school, and now he's no longer in the home. So for anybody, for an adult, that can kind of like fuck you up a bit, but for a child, imagine the impact.
I also hate these men for what they've done to these girls.
Yes, I agree. That's why every man needs to watch this, because you think that whatever crime you're going to do or whatever fight you're going to get into
is
worth
about crime,
it.
because this is applicable to all other father-daughter dynamic
interactions,
things. Like whatever you do thinking it does, this could be cheating on your wife, this could be it has an effect. It has an effect.
I think when you're a parent, like if you like grasp like the gravity of being a parent, like everything is now bigger than you. Like you are now not the most important person in your life.
Your own life,
and so small decisions that you make like impact this
everything,
child.
Crazy.
So we learn more about the daddy-daughter dance. Eligible fathers have to complete a 10-week coaching program to attend the dance, and I think this is really, really good. And they also have sessions after, which I didn't know that they would, but again, that's also very good. And Chad is the fatherhood life coach. Chad,
what a mighty good man.
Chad is a ting.
He's a ting.
Chad is a ting.
He is a ting.
I'll just leave that there.
Something I could get behind.
In front of. So Chad,
on all fours.
Chad makes a really good point, because he says whether we are physically there, actively engaged on a weekly basis, or whether we're not able to, we are still fathers. And I'm like, loud it, you have a child, you're a father. Whether the mum don't let you see them, whether you don't like them, whether you are still a father.
Whether they took a picture with your ops son,
you're a father. You're a father, and it's not that child's fault that they're there. Like
you brought them.
You brought them there, so you are a father. So you still have to be a father. It's like it's the fact that had to be said for mums. It's not said because you're a mum. You know that you're a mother. Like you know that. Do you get what I mean? Society won't let you forget that.
It's so funny. I saw a TikTok where someone was saying that a lot of men have kids in the way that a kid has a pet.
I saw that, a puppy,
And I was like, this is so true. Like, a lot of men have kids, and they have kids because, like, even when I think about some of the men I know, not my dad, and obviously not my husband because we haven't had a kid, but I'd like to believe not him. When I think about some of the men I know who are fathers, they are fathers in a functional sense, in the sense that you provide finances, you might step into discipline. But the day-to-day, the answer, I remember asking someone, because I wanted to get something for their kids, I remember asking like, what shoe size they wear. I don't know, ask the mother. What do you mean?
That's your child.
I could say to my dad, my belly's aching. He's like, are you on your period? Like, my dad is inner. Like active. And that's what it should be. He's active in our lives, knows everything. Like, what do you actually mean you don't know your kids' shoe size?
Have you seen those videos where like the dad, they'll be asking the kids what school the kid goes to, the name of the best friend, their birthday, what colour their eyes are, and they don't know anything.
How can you think you bring a child on this earth and your job ends at providing financially? And
well, if you want to tell me football stats, you know, with the last time England won the World Cup, you know who scored the whatever.
I was talking to my husband actually the other day, and we were saying something about like just keeping healthy, and I was like, look, at the end of the day, like, if you die and you leave like finances for your kids, like they'll be, and I was like, no, they won't be okay. Like, when I think about all the things that have happened in my life that I haven't needed my parents for financially, but I've needed them there for emotional support, advice, it's actually not enough. And whilst I know he'll be a present father, there is that thing where men think that like, money,
that's all I need to do.
Nah.
If you die and all your kids need from you is money, then like, were you really in their life? Like,
were you really a father?
Well, I remember when I first got to uni and I had to go shopping, and I called my mum and I was like, Mummy, how much should the onion be? these are the dumb things these are the dumb things your parents are there for. If my mom wasn't there in that moment for me to call her and ask her how much is the onion, then what would I have done? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so much more than like what you provide financially.
Yeah, even my friend was saying to me the other day, we were talking about parents, and she was like, oh yeah, but your parents are still actively parenting. I was like, yeah. And they're like, they parent you. I was like, 100%.
As they should. I'm still their child. It's like, just because I'm not a child, that doesn't mean I'm not your child. Like, I'm still your child.
Actively parenting. There is not a problem I have that I do not still discuss with my parents. And we make a joint. I mean, they might say, okay, do this, I might not. But the decision includes all of us.
It's having the counsels, being able to go to them and say, hey, da-da-da. Like, being able to... I'm still your child. I could be 52. If you are alive...
You are my parent.
You are my parent.
Unless you're toxic, then...
Well,
and then there again, you've been a shit parent.
There you go, you failed. Because I didn't ask to be here. No one actually asked to be here.
No.
This is the thing, and we're here now. We have bills. So the least you can do
is parent.
So shout out Chad for that. The sessions that we see, they're really raw and really open. And considering that they're on camera, and I mean
they're black men.
They're black men. They're aware prison. They're on camera. They are incarcerated. Yeah. They were able to be very, very raw.
They were doing the damn
and
thing,
vulnerable. And these people likely have done bad things, and there's someone out there who's thinking, well, fuck that guy, he did this to my this, yeah? I understand it. Yeah. But even speaking about the documentary we did last time, where we spoke about, like, John Hinckley and how he felt remorse and stuff, I do think that, like, sometimes people get to a stage where they regret the things that they did. And you can't go back and change those things. You can only try and be better, like, moving forwards.
And that's why I think... prison systems are not about rehabilitation. This program is about rehabilitation, but the prison system itself as a whole, is not about that. Yeah, exactly.
So one guy, he says that he has a child with his girlfriend when they're like 40. I think she's 14, he's 16. Yeah, her dad is in jail her dad is in jail at the time, and this guy, his name is Mark, and his daughter is Santana. Santana is
sassy as hell. She's 10 years old. It's actually giving Santana
it is.
The energy.
But you know what? Underneath all of that, Santana is in pain. Hurting.
And again, she has this not self-awareness, but she has this emotional intelligence that I don't actually think, like, when it's almost like a juxtaposition to Aubrey. Like,
she's older as well.
Yeah, her emotional intelligence is something that I don't think a child should have.
Exactly. She's too aware.
Yeah, the emotional intelligence of, like, she's like, I'm not gonna cry for that man again.
Her ignorance is gone.
If he wants, he can go in. He can go. Like, I've told him before how it affects me. I'm not gonna have a kid. I'm not gonna do this. I am parenting to.
She sounds like a grown woman. She said, I would never. She said, so I could pay me $1 million. I would never have a child. I will never be a mother. Never.
I might get married at 35.
Yeah, she's like, if I have a kid, it'll be at 45. Santana is in
too
pain.
Much. She's in pain.
She is hurting. And again, Mark, look at what you have caused. Because, like, this is actually what you have caused.
Yeah, this is a direct result of
your actions. Like, I get that, like, sometimes, like, when parents aren't together or when someone's in jail and stuff, people look at the women like, oh, you're bitter, like, you're turning her against me.
Of course.
She doesn't have to do anything to turn you against her. Like, if I look at my child and my child has the thoughts and feelings like Santana, I actually hate your guts. Yeah. Because look what you have done to my beautiful baby girl. Look what you've done.
Yeah.
Santana is in so much pain.
Yeah.
We don't see Santana smile until the end, dance.
Yeah, she's in so much pain. She's doing too much, like raising a kid.
Yeah.
The mum, understandably, is going through turmoil, so cannot mother the way Santana would like. It's even causing resentment in her mother. You can tell she's a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
But she's in pain.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have two parents, right?
Yeah.
And if they're both alive and like kicking and stuff, and like, it would be good to have them both.
Yeah.
Because they provide different things.
Yeah. It's sad.
Santana she's just. Yeah, she was born while her dad was in prison, so there's that. So the next girl we meet is Jayana. She's 11. Her mum is Unita. Her dad is Frank.
Sorry, pause. Have you seen that TikTok where it's about the blackest names you've ever heard? Like the names that you've heard that are like.
I feel like I have.
One guy was called, and I'm sure everyone's seen this, the coldest one, but the one was spelled like one, like Mexican, and it was the DA.
The apostrophe.
Yeah, coldest, but it was spelled with a K, so I guess maybe that adds some je ne sais quoi. And then one. What are people naming their kids? But also, sidebar again, this documentary really, really reminded me of the book not Transcendent Kingdom, the other one.
Oh, Homegoing.
Because I feel like this was the side of the family where the sister got taken to America. So you know how like Mark is like, oh yeah, like my wife or baby mum's dad is in prison.
Yeah.
Met her at 14.
Yeah.
If she had a dad,
yes,
we probably wouldn't have been to have a kid.
That's a good point that
and
he
it
makes.
reminds me, that whole book, if you haven't read that book, go and read it, because basically, if like, fast forward if you haven't, but it follows two sisters who are in Ghana when the whites come to do slave trade. One stays in Ghana and has a, I guess, better life. The other one gets taken to America. And then it follows like the slave trade and then coming out and then the fracturing of the families and then prison and all of this. And this is what it like. This is exactly how it looks like, because it's like it's a cycle. Of course, she's going to end up with a guy who's in and out of prison. Yeah, your dad was in prison. He wasn't there to like, and I'm not saying dad should police women's sexuality, but if you're there to good,
because it's like men. We say this all the time. Like, men respect men. Yeah, men love off other men. Yeah, so it's not necessarily like, oh, he respects you, so he's gonna. It's not necessarily like, oh, he respects you, he's gonna stay away. He's gonna stay away. Yeah, but like, your dad, the fear of a dad being there is enough for a little boy to be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And if that were the case, then it's like your parent is your guardian, like guardian for a reason. They're guarding you from situations.
If your dad is in prison, your mum is going to have to be working overtime to provide. So she's not even about
latchkey kids or whatever.
She's not even about to parent as much as she probably wants to.
Oh,
So
God.
of course this kind of stuff is going to happen.
Exactly.
And of course it's going to be, where is she going to learn that she should be with a guy that has more prospects than to be in and out of prison for her own daughter?
It's so sad. And this is the thing, like, this documentary really just highlights that, like, it's not to say that people don't have choices or people don't make choices or don't have, like, you know, autonomy and stuff, but like, your circumstances really, really, really impact you. And like, the one thing you can try and do as a parent is give your child the best circumstances possible. Like, I'm not saying that, oh, they're gonna live in whatever mansion or whatever, but if you can give them some stability and some, like, do you know what I mean?
Prospect,
hope. Some hope. Santana is hurting.
She's hurting.
Jayana's dad, Frank, I
don't know why he was
very like, oh, I tried to contact her, but her mum wouldn't let. Like, I'm so sorry, if I'm trying to contact my child,
I'm going through
hell high water,
and I will be the
high water. I don't know, like, I just feel like, did you even try?
Like, Ronan was running B613 and he still was.
And even though he was so annoyed with Olivia, and so disgusted by her, he was still there to be like, listen, bro, this is how we sort it out.
Yeah.
Not that his ways were all correct, but do you know what I mean? That was a parent. So, he, to me, like, seems resigned to the fact that, like, okay, like, you know, the mom won't let him, whatever. Then we hear Unita's point of view, and she's like, fam, you knew about her when you were not in jail, and you didn't give a fuck. So now you're in jail. Now it's because you're in jail.
Yeah, that you wanna, you want to have some contact.
And it's like, Eunice is the person who always has to be around, who always has to console Jayana, who always has to, like, I'm the parent who's picking up the pieces and you're doing whatever.
And now you want a pen pal.
Girl, it's so funny because Jayana says that, like, she doesn't remember his face, but she looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
She looks exactly like him.
But she hates that man's guts.
Yeah, she hates him. I don't blame her. I actually don't blame her.
I don't blame her. He also has a useless energy about him.
Yeah, he does. Very, like, just lackadaisical. It's like, can you? I just want to shake him. And
Can you do something?
Like, can you wake up? So we learn a bit more about the dance. It was started by a wonderful, wonderful lady called Angela Patton. She is the founder of Girls for a Change. So she explains how it started. There were girls whose fathers had been consistent, considerate, present even while they were in jail. They wanted to celebrate their fathers, so they wrote to the warden to organize the dance. Exactly. Dance on the shit. Bounce on the shit. Dance. Okay. There's this scene where they're going over, like, the details of the dance with the prisoners, okay? And they're like, oh, we're going to get haircuts, are we going to get suits, blah, blah, blah. The organizer is like, okay, it's going to be daddy-daughter, there's not going to be any mums there. And one guy, he kind of, like, harps on this point, and he's kind of like,
I feel like he just wanted to smash.
So he kind of was like, oh, the moms won't be there at all. I thought that they were beefing. Like, I really don't want this trouble with her. Like, da-da-da. But actually, it was like, he felt like, I haven't seen this girl in so long. I don't know if she's going to be comfortable with me,
around me
without her mum. And that's crazy. Like when he said that, I was like, I didn't even think in my mind that it was going to be that.
That's true, actually. I thought that as well. I was like, that
and
is
they're
crazy.
Young. You know how kids are. Like you're comfortable with your parent, your guardian. Like even when I see children like at work, like sometimes they're really like reserved. Obviously, I'm a stranger. Okay, yeah, we're doing your eye test, but I'm a stranger. So they're really like, they want their mum. Sometimes they'll sit on their lap or whatever. Imagine feeling that way, but you're their father.
Yeah,
you are a stranger.
Yeah, understandable. That's a very fair point.
I was like, I didn't even think in my mind that he was going.
I thought he was coming up with the thing of like he wants to see the mum to get a little something.
Oh no, I thought they were beefing. I thought it was gonna be
at first I thought they were beefing, but when he kept going on about it, I was like, are you trying to smash or something?
Yeah, like what is all this?
Yeah, then when he said that, I was like, that is mad.
Yeah. But the fact that he even thought about that
it
was nice. Yeah, it's like you want her to be comfortable, and you don't want her to like pie you off. So on-screen text tells us that since 2014, there's less prisons that allow touch visits.
This was something I actually didn't know.
Yeah.
These movies and shows be lying to us. I actually thought... I mean, I knew there
2014, not even like COVID times, like 2014.
I knew there were some prisons you go to where it's like the phone call thing. Where one person's one side, then
you touch your hand like this.
Yeah. But I thought that was like maybe max security or something. Or maybe you were in jail.
Yeah.
I didn't know actual prisons. I thought all the visits were...
Yeah, like you sit across the table from each other and you do your whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Arrested Development when they say no touching.
Yeah.
But like, and this is why I say it's not about rehabilitation, because to rehabilitate or for someone's development, you need human interaction, you need human touch. Obviously, prison is a very hostile environment. Like, even if you have your boys, you have your friends and stuff like that, it's a hostile environment.
Yeah.
You need your loved ones. How is that person ever going to come back into society, be normal, rehabilitate? When you're not allowing them.
They're going to be worse.
Yeah. See, and most times prisons are far anyways.
Exactly.
So those visits are far and few in between.
And the thing is that like if I now have to go see my loved one in prison, that's either a day off or it's my weekend and I spend the whole day going there just to come. Like that's exhausting. Now I can't do what I would have been doing. I'm now sacrificing this because like it affects everybody. It affects everybody. So they now have video interviews which they have to pay for. And like I thought that like, they just Zoom from home, but you're in the prison and you're doing the video thing.
And then you have to pay extra. You have to pay extra for other visits as well. It's all about...
This is what I'm saying. That's insane.
And then also, put this in context. The likelihood of a person who's in prison coming from a family that has money is slim.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, they would be in the lowest security prison because they probably committed white-collar crime.
Exactly.
The people who are in these prisons come from lower-income families, right? Who cannot afford these things.
Yeah.
So this man is in there. And again, this is not to cry for men that have committed crimes. But this man is in there, doesn't have access to his family, probably because even another thing that Santana's mom was showing, that like to call, to send pictures, emails, everything,
different
credits,
different
credits. Like, so again, these mums already out here working, trying to feed their kids.
And maintain that line of contact between you and the child, even though they did nothing to cause the fact two
packs of rotten ass.
So that's why this dance is even more important to them, because they can actually physically see and touch their daughter.
And some of them have not done this since they've gone in.
The power of touch, they talk about it later, but like the power of touch like is so important. Like I'm not even a physical touch babe. My number has increased since I first did the test, but I'm not even, but they talk about how important it is. And it is. You take it for granted when it's something that you can... you can get all the time.
I would literally die. Two things I would die without: physical touch and yapping.
Both together? Love that.
Oh my God,
Love that. So the next daughter that we meet is Razia. She's 15. So we kind of go the ages to get like higher and higher. Her dad's in jail. She's saying how much she misses him, and she doesn't like that they only get 15 minutes on the phone. And her concerns are a bit different to the younger daughter. So remember, we started off with Aubrey, who's 5. Razia's 15, and you just the expectations, the things, the impact of the dad not being around is different. So for her, she's like, "Fam, I'm gonna be graduating. He's not gonna be there." Like her mum, whose name is Sharita, tells us that like she's been suicidal, and this is peak for both of them, because I can't give you what it is that you're missing, because you're missing your father and he's not here.
Do you know what this reminded me of personally? Boarding school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same concept of needing that parent, they're not there, and forced separation. Like, I would never, like, I could never do that to my kid. It's terrible.
Really?
I had some of the stuff they said, I had those feelings. Like, I remember I used to say to my best friend in school, like I would pay good money to just have a globe where I could see my mum, not even touch her, or just to see. Because if you think about it,
and you go from seeing them every single day to not.
If you think about it, I would go from like Christmas to summer holiday, not see my parents.
That's crazy.
Then, because I wouldn't come back to England for Easters. I would only come back Christmas and summer, then Christmas. That was the shorter one, and then you're living with people. It's the same. It's prison, because you're actually living with people who, it's a hostile environment. And then the people who are entrusted with your care actually don't give a fuck about you. And so all sorts are like...
Why did they send you to boarding school?
They felt I needed discipline. And I think even them, upon reflection in hindsight, they're like, yeah, maybe we could have done things differently, because I wasn't even...
They were going to send me. They were going to send me to boarding school. And I was thinking, bro, I was the most well-behaved child ever. Like, I didn't give you no problems.
I think from my parents, they felt that they had me relatively young. I mean, not like 23, not like teenage, 24 and 30. But they were the first. They said they had no, like, anyone to compare me to. So for them, they were scared, like, that certain things, like, and they were like, oh, in hindsight, maybe we could have gotten you tested for dyslexia or this, but they were just like, like,
we have to do something.
Yeah, and what they now understand is this is just like a kid being a kid. Yeah. They didn't have the context then. And yeah, I just would never, ever, ever, and I advocate no one does that to a kid. I remember watching, what's the name of that guy? He's a rapper. He does funny videos as well. He's UK. He did that song, I'll find it and I'll whatever, but he did a video with his mum, and he was telling her about the trauma
of boarding school,
and like how she shouldn't have done that and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, more kids need to have
how did the mum react?
She was kind of like, oh, my son, I'm sorry, like, okay, at the time, blah, 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 like.
And it's so sad because, like, more time, good parents, I guess, they think they're doing the best thing for their child.
And I think therein is where you find the forgiveness, because they're parents that you try to talk to, and they're like...
But it doesn't take away from...
It doesn't take away from the pain, but you forgive them because you look at them and you're like...
You didn't mean to do this.
You were doing what you thought was the best.
It's just a shame that you thought that was the best.
Yeah, it's just a shame that you didn't know to do better, but what you did was what you thought was the best.
You did it because you love me.
Yeah, and that is the important thing. It's one thing doing something... I mean, I guess a lot of parents do things because they think it's out of love, but when you refuse to listen to your child that's telling you, like, this thing caused me trauma, I think that's the problem. But you can forgive and you can see the making up and stuff like that. But it really, really reminded me of boarding school. But I accept I was the prisoner.
Yeah, well,
yeah, it's not, and it also is why I say it's not a thing that, like, and I think you see it in a lot of Nigerian households as well back home, like the kids, when they send their kids, parents, when they send their kids to like boarding school and stuff like that, they grow up and the kids, like, you don't understand why a lot of these Nigerian kids resent their parents or this or
like
that. a drift, and because it's normalized in that society, people think it's normal, but really, you were not there for your kids' formative years. How do you, now that I'm at this age, I don't even have a kid, but how do a child I birthed, I entrust somebody else,
and you're just living your life, like. But loads of rich people do that. Like, they'll have a kid and then they just send them
parents.
Off to
and that's why their kids.
And then again, they have money as well. Yeah. It's like that doesn't repair.
It doesn't repair.
You don't know your child.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't even fucking want kids anyways, because that's why they do that.
It's
shit.
Just someone to pass off the family.
And that's why I said this is not about rehabilitation. It's about something else. I don't know what this is about, but because if it's that, this is not how you get to that.
Insane,
crazy.
Again, this documentary, so many themes, so many things. Like, honestly, this documentary could have been a dissertation, and I would have read every single word,
and it would have gone to first class.
Absolutely. So it's 5 weeks to the dance, and the dads are like really excited, and it's really nice to see black men in this way, like excited, giddy almost, you know,
their kids.
Yeah. And this is the bit where they talk about the power of touch, and the bit I wanted to touch upon was that they talk about like that sort of dance being sort of like a happy, safe space. You can hold your child, touch your child, all that stuff. And they said that for the girls, the daughters, it might be a case of when they go home, they don't want to take off that dress because dad's touched it. It reminds them of a good time. Even the prisoners, they don't want to take off that suit because their daughters touched it. And it's just so important. Like, I've had my birthday party that we had, I got home, I was chilling around for time in my dress because it was like, oh my God, like, do you know what I mean? It was just, you still have the high of the night.
Yeah.
How much more this, where you haven't seen you haven't seen each other in ages, you haven't been able to like touch each other, hug each other, dance with each other, and now you have. It's almost like everything has been like leading up to this. It's like a crescendo, right? And then it's like they describe it in the chats that they have in the sessions as like a roller coaster, and that's why I really appreciate that after the dance
they have aftercare.
So
important.
They have aftercare, because sometimes when you're on such a high, it's like that low is just, it's like going on holiday and landing at Heathrow again. You're just like, fucking hell, mate, get me out of here. So we see everyone getting ready for the dance, and it's just so cute. Like, we see the little girls putting on their dresses, the guys putting on their suits, and they capture the anticipation so well in this documentary. Like, the viewer, I'm excited as if like I'm the daughter and my dad is about to come out. And this is where I burst into tears. This is where I
cried.
I wept when I could see, so basically the dads are like sitting in a hallway, like in a row, and then you start to see, so like the hallway's kind of long.
Oh no, this is where I started.
The hallway's kind of long, and the camera, like you can kind of see the little girls coming from they're not in focus yet, but you can see them, and the dads are sitting there, and the dads are all like literally
is it mine?
They're all like craning their necks to see, and you start to see the reunions. You start to see them.
Rosiah, the way she cried,
I cried. This is the first time we see Santana smile the whole. It's as if like all of this like built up, pent up, I have to be okay, this defense mechanism melted. And she literally, for the first time in this documentary, she appears as a child. Like she just I cried. I cried. Rosiah, it's as if he's come home from war.
And she came with her cousin, who her dad has basically raised.
Yes, exactly.
And then when the dad is saying that, like, I raised her because her dad has been in prison.
So his brother was in prison since she was like,
his brother? I thought it was his sister's.
Oh, was it?
I think it was his sister's
husband or man, maybe dad.
But then it's mad because now you were her surrogate dad, and this
is what I'm saying. The cycle, it's like being stabbed and stabbed again.
I hate him for that.
Yeah, he hates himself for that.
Good. He was fine as hell though.
He was, yeah. I was crying. I was crying.
Literally that kind of crying.
I was in tears.
Yeah.
I was in tears. Jayana seems irritated.
She's like, why am I in this?
She seems irritated.
I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either.
I don't even know what Frank's reason was for this, because I don't know that they have.
I don't know if Frank. I don't know.
I don't know what he did this for.
I don't know. But the dads give the girls a little. They called it some flower thing.
It was a corsage.
No, it was a corsage, but they called it a book. It started with a B.
Yeah.
And what I ain't never seen before.
And they're meant to do a promise.
Exactly, they're meant to do a promise to whatever. Aubrey's just like, Dad, if you put your good hair, and I was like, Aubrey, please. Aubrey, I'm already crying. I don't have tears left.
She's like, don't say bye, because it means you'll never see again. Say see you later.
She's like, see you later, Daddy.
See you later, Daddy.
Oh, Aubrey, man.
And she's like, are you gonna come out in 7 years? He's like, if I'm good. He's like, so you gotta be good. Put your head on mine, and you'll be good. Aubrey, I need to birth Aubrey.
Yeah, that's what I'm praying for, God.
I need to birth Aubrey.
I need an Aubrey, man. Her mum's doing a great job.
And
then Aubrey as well, like, her dad's, their thing is like, oh, like, get loads of certificates. Yeah, when I come back, I'll see all your certificates.
She's filling up these walls.
There is no space left, yeah.
She's like, all the walls in the living room are filled. They're in my bedroom now.
There are so many certificates. Aubrey doesn't deserve, I mean, nobody deserves this. But
Aubrey especially, she doesn't. Yeah.
Aubrey doesn't deserve this.
Aubrey and Rosiah. The two of them.
Fam. And they're like two sides of the same coin. They're just like 10 years apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll talk about that later.
Well, yeah. at this point, there's 30 minutes left of the documentary, and I'm thinking, oh, the dance is done. Dance is done. Like,
they gave us a really good treat at the end.
Where do we go from here?
Because I was not expecting that. Bro. Never aspired it.
So they have more sessions, as we kind of alluded to, after the dance, which I think is really important because they're unpacking the dance, how they feel, blah, blah, blah. And now it's 1 year later. Now, this is where I said this is a documentary, okay? This is not let's quickly get this out. So this is, we are following everything. We want updates. This isn't just about cheeky dance. This is, let us see the ramifications.
Questions we could have had.
Okay. And normally what people would do, filmmakers, black screen, white text, blah 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 blah. No, these men said, do you know what,
we're going to revisit the scene of the crime.
Literally, they did an Aubrey. They said, see you later. Yeah, we're coming back, and let's see what's going on. Because they followed these for years.
Years.
Yeah. This wasn't a one and done. And I literally was like, wow, you people have tried.
Yeah.
Like, if you, Kerry, if you do nothing else for me, you've done enough.
You've done this, yeah. You've given me enough.
You've actually done enough. So, on-screen text tells us that Keith received his final sentence. Now, Keith is Aubrey's dad, yeah? He got 10 years.
That broke me.
I was kind of like, how come we didn't know what their sentences were already? Like, where's
I think he was in the process of being sentenced.
Okay, fair. Yeah. He got 10 years. So, like, Aubrey...
That 7 years she was talking about, some plus
Aubrey
3.
has been holding on to 7, and now she has to add 3. And she can because she's great at math. But it's just sad that she has to hold on for that long.
Yeah.
So Frank, who is Gianna's dad, of all the dads, he's the one that's been released.
That's what I said, of all the dads, it's this one.
Of all the ones.
Went and bought her some Zara jean
and some ugly leather jacket. The thing is, that is a gesture, and I think it shows that he's considering his daughter, and I think that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, but I didn't like the interaction. She's like,
it seems really strange.
She was basically like, "Are you like better now?" And he's like, "I'm always."
He's like, "Have you got a job?" She's like, "Have you got a job?" But for her to be, it's given Santana. For her to be asking that, it's like,
they're concerned.
Clearly, I am disappointed. I expect nothing from you, which means that a pattern of behavior has been shown, and I don't rate you.
Yeah, I don't rate you. Yeah.
For you to not rate your parent,
it's
like, scary. You've seen things. Yeah. You didn't just wake up and they say, "Oh, I hate you, Dad." Like, you've seen.
It's not the mum poisoning.
That's what I'm saying. She has seen time and time again. She's been let down. Like, she's over it. It's like, bro, like, have you got a job? Are you gonna go back to jail? Like, do I need to invest time in this or not? And they tell us that her mum has been ill, so I don't know if that's impacting.
But they're trying to rebuild.
Yeah. So now we're 3 years after the dance, and Razia, who was 15, is now 18, and she is graduating.
Said, free my heart.
This is where the tears started again.
Yeah.
Because I said, this is so fucking sad.
She said, free my heart.
And she was really you know them ones where you're trying to be strong,
yeah.
And we can see her, like, her self-talk, and she's like, look, like, you did this for you guys, you graduated, you did this for him, like, you did it, you did your big one, like, what, like, she's hyping herself up, your firstborn, like, look, like, she's hyping herself up, but ultimately, like, he's not there.
And the thing is that he got 35 years, so that means that he's not going to be there for potentially her wedding.
Yep.
Her firstborn. Baby. And the thing is that by the time he gets out, especially with these limited, because a lot of these dads have not actually physically, in fact, all of these dads that are still in prison haven't had physical contact with their kids since
years, since the dance.
How do you maintain?
It's so difficult. And then also lives.
You're not going to. And then
I'm kind of pissed off with you. Like, I had a shit day at school today. Oh, I had a flat tire and my dad wasn't there to help me.
I hate you, yeah.
You're reminded every day. It's like, I'm sorry. It would not surprise me if the resentment were to build, because it's like, you should be here and you're not. Why are you not here? Because of shit that you did.
Yeah, dumb shit that you didn't need to do.
So, and it's like, I can't. The older they get as well, it's like, I can't give you this vim. I can't give you this energy. I can't give, like, I'm trying to focus on my life, which is now harder because you are not here.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to? God. So Santana's dad is out. Okay. She's 13 and her dad is there at her 13th birthday. He's able to hug her and, like, he's there with the cake. He's been out for 4 years.
And he hasn't gone back in.
And
they tell us, on-screen text tells us that 95% of the men who are involved in this program do not reoffend and go back to prison. So it is that's why I said it's not about rehabilitation.
Yeah. That program is the rehabilitation.
As an effective program to prevent rehabilitation, this is that. If you really want to keep people off the streets, this is that.
Yeah, because it's proven. It's been going for 10-12 years. 95%. Santana's dad, he says normally after 6 months he's back in jail, but now it's been 4 years.
He is actually being a dad. I think they even had another baby. They need to stop, but I think they had another baby.
And Santana confirms it. Santana's like, like he is keeping these promises that he made to me at the dance, and it's just so beautiful to see.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, seeing Santana smile, I would pay for that.
I'll pay good money.
I would pay for that.
Yeah.
So Aubrey hasn't seen her dad since the dance, but the prison have approved a visit. Like we said, that's kind of hard to do, but they have. Yeah. So now she's 8. When we first met her, she was 5. Now she's 8. The fire in her eyes, the light in her is gone.
She don't give two rats ass about that, man. I don't blame her.
It's gone.
And unfortunately for him, he's missing like her formative years. By the time he comes out, she's a teenager. I don't know you, and I don't need you.
Do you know what was so interesting about this documentary and the ages of the girls that we saw? It was like, you know that in science, how they talk about how we used to be apes and then we became it literally is that. It was like that. Yeah. So Aubrey when we meet her, she's 5. Santana is 10 and Rosario is like 15. Aubrey has all the light in her life. She's still hopeful. She still thinks that things are going to be okay. Santana's already at the point where it's like, he ain't shit, nothing ain't shit, fuck everybody. Aubrey, when we meet her at 8, is closer to what Santana was like at 10.
Yeah.
The joy is gone. The hope is gone. There's no more this many times around the sun. Like, she goes for the prison and at some point she's kind of like I want to go. She wants to leave. In the car, she's on the phone to him. She can't really hear him. She's over it. She's like, yeah. The joy is gone. Look at what you have done to your child.
And he's even saying that like that visit he didn't expect it, didn't think it would be like that. Like, she just doesn't care for him.
And it's like, I feel badly for him because you're stuck in there. Like, what can you do? The prison visits you can barely have. Phone calls, 15 minutes? Like, and the thing is, like, I guess it's part of the punishment. Like, you feel helpless in there.
Yeah.
But like, life goes on. What is she to do?
Lay down and wait.
How many certificates can I get? There's not enough trees in the forest, fam. Like, because seeing Aubrey 3 years later was just like, bro.
She had detached from him.
Bro.
She didn't care.
She didn't give a heck. And it's just crazy the difference that few years made. Yeah. Because that Aubrey that we saw was not the Aubrey of before. No. And she's like that because of you.
Yeah, literally. You did that. That's your legacy.
Oh, so now the documentary is coming to an end. We get updates via on-screen text. So Rosaria hasn't had a touch visit with her dad since the dance, and as Florence mentioned, like, he ends up getting 30 years. So yeah, that's peak. Joanna's mum had health issues. She's trying to build a relationship with her dad. Mark, who is Santana's dad, he's been in the home, keeping the promises. He's still in contact with Sexy Chad, the life coach, which I think is great because it's like 100%. You're grounded now. You have, someone.
You have a community, someone to help you.
And I'm sure that is a factor as to why he hasn't been back in jail. And so if you've been out of jail for 4 years, like, chances are you now have a routine, you have a job, you have like you're not going back. It's my hope. You're not going back.
And Chad even said it to him. He was like, the streets don't want you. The people who do want you are your family.
Exactly.
So you need to stay up for them.
Aubrey's seen her dad twice since the dance. Keith has been transferred between different prisons across 3 states. And you know how big that America is, Where he is now doesn't actually allow visits, and they only allow 10-minute phone calls. So really, we can assume that
they're not going to see you.
It's done.
Yeah.
At least for now.
And even till he comes out, that depends on if he has a positive relationship with her mum. Because if he's not moving back into the house or whatever, he might not see Aubrey.
But when he's out, Aubrey's gonna be
13, I think.
No, that was before. So now she'll be like, what, 16?
Yeah.
Or something?
18 even.
18, yeah.
It depends on when the 10 years started.
Yeah. But Aubrey's gonna be grown enough that if he wants to chat to her by herself, then...
Yeah.
But that's a lot to work through, man.
It's a lot.
Because it's like sometimes you get so mad at your parents for decisions that they made, and it's like, I'm at a place where as an adult I look at my parents like, okay, you guys were just trying to figure it out or trying to do whatever you could do kind of thing. But I'm just like, yeah, but you could have done better.
You could have done
like,
better.
Surely.
Even as an adult without a kid, you would know to do better.
Yeah, and like even with Aubrey, I'm sure was looking at her dad like, you 100% could have done better. You didn't have to do what you did. And it's like, even though you're remorseful and you served your time and stuff, that doesn't take away from the impact it had on my life. Yeah, exactly, from the time I served. For like,
no reason. Why am I in it?
I didn't even ask to be here. So as we said earlier, the Date with Dad program has been running for 12 years and 95% of the dads haven't returned. That's
crazy stats.
That's insane. That's crazy stats.
I'm not saying the same for the prison system.
That is crazy stats. But yeah, this was a documentary.
It was a documentary and a half.
This was
feels. Made me feel feels.
I agree. It was just so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. I am going to watch this again.
And everyone else should watch it.
Everyone should watch it. Like, we say this only when we mean it. Yeah. And you need to watch it. Like, this documentary, you need to watch Daughters.
You must watch.
You have to watch it. Yeah. It was so good. Like, I have learnt from it. And I have no prison affiliations.
Yeah.
But I learnt so much from it.
Yeah.
And children are so resilient.
They try.
And they shouldn't have to be.
Yeah, they shouldn't. It was heartbreaking.
Oh, my heart broke for real. But yeah, now it's time for...
The real crime, I think, was the beard.
Our segment where we focus on something during the documentary that may not be criminal, but we definitely consider to be a crime. Would you want to go or should I go?
Yeah, so there was a bit where after Mark was out and it was Aubrey's birthday, first of all, there were two bits of this that were crimes.
Santana's birthday.
Sorry, Santana's birthday. One, why was the birthday in a car park? I mean, I'm not saying that you have to do one
of them like music videos.
But why was it in a car park?
In the night,
a home, any number of places it could have been. It was in a car park at night. Fine, whatever. The jeans Mark was wearing,
I don't remember what.
They were like leggings. It was giving Teach Me How to Dougie.
Oh, they'd be like,
yeah.
Wait.
Like, and it's giving like old school Tiger when he was dating Kylie back in the day.
Okay.
What is going on?
Like, you're a jerk. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, you are a fully grown man. Second of all, it's 2024. Did you come out from? You went in at 2016.
You wore the same jeans.
Right. You went in at 2016. You didn't look around to see what people. You wore the same jeans. Criminal.
The real crowd, I think, was there was a bit in the sessions. You know, the sessions they were doing before the daddy daughter dance, and everyone was just introducing themselves and saying their like nicknames and stuff. And this guy was like, "Oh yeah, like my name Moo Moo, but they call me Moo."
The two of them are what bad.
I said, Doja, is that you? Because what is happening here?
Don't say either.
What is happening here? I'm gonna need your government, sir.
Cancelled.
I'm gonna need your government.
Cut the cameras.
Dead ass.
Literally.
But yeah, man, it was hard to find the crime in this one because the whole thing was criminal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that we
did it.
That we watched it. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, we do next. Oh, next, Untold. Okay, so I love Untold. The Netflix documentaries, I love them. We covered one on one of our guest episodes, Malice at the Palace. Yeah, sports is messy as fuck. Okay, and if you don't like sports, don't worry about it. Yeah,
we don't either.
We don't talk about it that much.
We're here for the Escandaloso.
So I would watch it. It's called
Untold.
The murder of Stephen McNair.
No,
Air McNair. Sorry, Air McNair. It's not that long of a documentary. You can watch it. We are going to discuss it. I'll play the trailer at the end, as always. But yeah, that's what we're doing next. Excited.
Credits.
In the meantime, between time, you can find us everywhere, really. 2 Girls 1 Doc. Email us 2girls1doc@gmail.com, and TikTok is 2 Girls 1 Doc podcast. Exactly. This documentary that we just did was requested, so we do listen. The one before that was requested, so we listen.
We be listening.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we haven't blown to the point where you don't chat to us. You chat to us. It's direct, live and direct in it. So let us know, leave a comment, let us know what you thought about the episodes, and rate, comment, review, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
A lot of people had questions, but what really happened took on a life of its own.
Steve's the toughest man in the NFL.
Steve McNair, former Titans quarterback, has been found dead.
I could see the bullet holes. What could have happened?
Michigan violated an NCAA rule.
Suddenly, something crazy was going on.
Connor Stallions was the ringleader.
If I'm a bad guy, then everyone in football is a bad guy.
Hope Solo, who doesn't know her name? One of the greatest goalkeepers for the game.
The U.S. Soccer Federation is the most draconian organization I've dealt with.
It was cutthroat, and you felt it every step of the way.
This transcends sports.
There's so much more than what the headlines say.
Just like that, my whole life changed.
One moment, one bad decision.
And we're just getting started.